Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. First task for today is changing the oil on this Volvo XC90. It's a 2007 with a 4.4 V8 engine. I learned the hard way while up here that it is near impossible to do the oil change on these vehicles without this oil filter wrench. This oil filter tube is specially made to fit the Volvo plastic oil filter housings, and a lot of other of the housings don't fit right, so you really need to get your hands on one of these from a supplier that specifically makes them for the Volvo vehicles. The mechanic that I visit frequent recommended this one, made in the USA. It's an AST brand. He said it'll last for many years, while some of the other ones strip out and different stuff like that. So if you have a Volvo with these oil filter housings, which is normally $19.99 and newer, you want to get one of these to get that oil filter off. Some of the ones with the top mount oil filter is taken off with like a 32 millimeter or something like that. Here's the tools and equipment I use. I got the 17 millimeter, the 21 millimeter that goes with my oil filter housing removal, torque wrench, ratchet wrench, little screwdriver to pull the seal off, needle nose pliers to help me fish out my oil bolt when I don't have my magnet with me, 7 quarts of oil, and rags, gloves, and a catch pan, and my ramps, because I still need to put up on the ramps even though it's a truck. First thing I did was started the car, warmed the engine up a little bit. I pulled the hood release, which is way down here. You pull that to release the hood. Now I'm going to come around here, reach my hand under here, and open this hood. When I find this latch is over here, you put your finger on that, squeeze that, and lift the hood up, let the latch go. Now you have the hood open. I always recommend that people check the oil before they change it, so you can see if it was running low before you change it, so you know how much it uses in between oil changes. You pull a dipstick, you wipe it off, you push it back in and pull it back out, and you check both sides of it. This one is very close to the full mark, which is right there, and so it's not even a half a quart low. Next, you open up the oil filler cap, leave that like that, and you go under the vehicle and remove the splash pan from under it. Here's the splash pan, 10 millimeter bolts, 2 on the front, 2 on the side, and 2 on the rear. This one was actually missing 2, which is common. I don't know why mechanics leave stuff off and don't put stuff back on. Next, you want to make sure your oil filter housing tool fits firm on the filter housing. And this is your oil pan. Here's your drain bolt. It should be 17 millimeter. Set your catch pan under it and go ahead and drain the oil out of the engine into the catch pan. While your oil's draining out of the engine, you want to remove your old crush washer, wipe off your nut, and install the new crush washer on there. And once your oil comes down to a dribble, you can go ahead and install the bolt. You don't have to torque it right now, but you want to go ahead and put it in so you can remove the oil filter. I go ahead and put the nut back in the pan because I need to move my catch pan when I remove my filter housing. I want to be able to catch any oil that comes off of it. And I do have a cloth or oil absorber pad or something under the vehicle so I don't make a mess on the ground. My tool to get that oil filter housing off is a 21 millimeter. Have your catch pan in place, because when it comes down it does make a mess. You can move those wires if you want, unplug them, set them aside so you don't get a bunch of oil on them like I did, but it's not mandatory. Next, you want to get the filter out of the housing. You want to look down in the housing and make sure that that part is still down in there. That's your check valve. That's part of the housing for the oil filter. You don't want that to stick to the bottom of the oil filter and you lose it. Make sure you have that on the housing and not the oil filter. You want to take your oil filter and snap it in the housing. Some mechanics recommend you snap the filter in the engine first. Some do not. That's up to you. The instructions on the Volvo box says snap it into the housing. Pull the seal off of the housing and lubricate the new seal with oil and put it on the housing. When you're fitting the filter inside the housing, you want to press the filter in until you hear it pop. It'll have a little resistance, but it will pop, and as you can see, it has that kind of collar there that helps it fit in place and stays tight in there, and that's how far it sits down on the housing. Now I'm going to fill this up with oil. You don't have to do it. Some people do. And then I'm going to turn it on, and there's the torque value there. 25 Newton measures or 18.5 foot-pounds. I have my oil filter housing torqued in place. Now I have torqued my oil pan bolt in place. I use a oil funnel and I put 6.5 quarts of oil in the engine. Then I started the engine. I ran it for 5 minutes. I shut it off. I let it sit for 5 minutes. Then I checked the level and topped it off to the full mark. Next, I reinstalled the splash pan. I snugged those bolts down real snug. I didn't torque them tight. You don't want to damage the bolts or the splash pan. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.